Hey guys, it's almost Christmas and someone is outside doing a lot of chainsawing. I'm presuming they're trying to clear space for the Christmas tree, who knows? But today we have another one that I think is moderately Christmas themed because it's got a lot to do with toys. Basically, I'm scraping the barrel trying to find Christmas themed video games I can review for you, and this is what we come up with. So yeah, let's scrape the bottom of the barrel together because this is Mythmaker's Trixie in Toyland, one of those games from the Wii. When the day finally comes for bad games to receive a reckoning, I don't know what will be at the front of the queue. Will it be Count Duckula 2, a game that's almost unplayable on the Amstrad CPC, or will it be Trixie in Toyland, a game that's almost unplayable on everything? Some things we will have to wait to find out. Hopefully, we won't be waiting long. Trixie in Toyland is part of Data Design Interactive's Mythmakers franchise, a series of 3 games that all rip off better games. This game is ripping off Ninja Bread Man, and when you have a game copying something as awful as Ninja Bread Man, you really do know you've hit rock bottom. You play as Trixie, a goofy idiot wearing a pink onesie and bunny ears. Apparently, she's a trainee Easter bunny according to a few websites, but this game annoyed me so much that I haven't bothered to actually check the manual to find out whether that's true or not. In all honesty, I don't want to have to touch this mess again, even though I know that I will have to when I eventually pick up the PlayStation 2 version so that I can finally complete my PS2 collection. So anyway, let's get back to what this game is all about. In truth, I have no idea what it's about. There was very little by way of explanation in the game itself. It's just a case of wander about and pick up whatever glowing thingamajig the game is expecting you to find, and then head somewhere else on a map that's far too big, either to do the same thing all over again, or to finally end the level and get a fleeting amount of peace before the mess begins again. The levels are far too big. They are sprawling, and there's little in them to actually warrant the space that they take up. The game is not fun, partly because you're actively having to wander around while trying to interpret the giant pink arrow that tells you where to go. It's not very good at its job, which is annoying. You will occasionally have to attack something. Mostly you will do this with a swift waggle of the Wiimote, which causes Trixie to smack at things with a weapon. This is actually quite fun, and the controls are fairly responsive, which makes a change from some cheap motion control games that I've played in the past. The enemies are a wide variety of ridiculousness. Some are nicely designed. I like the clunky, old-fashioned robots, and the block monster's cool enough. But what the hell are those pink things supposed to be? Regardless of the monster that you're fighting, a few smacks will generally take them down, so have at it. If the monster is flying, you'll need to aim and fire your ranged weapon. This is not so well handled. The lock-on mechanic is slow and fairly unresponsive. The camera will occasionally get fixed on an enemy through this lock-on mechanic and fail to disengage from the enemy if you fall away from it, which makes getting back to a position where you can fight it again a pain in the neck. I'm not a fan of using the ranged weapon, but the game is certainly a fan of flying enemies, so you'll just have to get used to it. Speaking of getting used to things, I just couldn't get a grip with the movement controls. They should be the simplest thing in the game. Use the thumbstick on the Wii nunchuck to move Trixie in the direction that you're pointing. Simple, right? Wrong. Trixie moves either too fast or too slow, and she doesn't turn around properly. It's a nightmare. I spent 40 minutes stuck on a level with a moving set of blocks that I had to navigate across, all because Trixie can't walk in a straight line. The controls are atrocious, and that is the big problem with this game. I can cope with short games. Sometimes a game that doesn't overstay its welcome is just what you want, especially when it's a low-budget game like this. But it doesn't matter how short your game is if you can't navigate your way through it. Couple this with levels that are too big and too empty, and the end result is an absolute mess. Yes, it's pretty. Yes, visually it looks lovely and it's probably the perfect style for a kid's game. Yes, the music is acceptable, and the ideas behind the game are reasonably solid, but none of that matters when you can't play it. I'm severely disappointed with this one. I didn't expect much going in, and it didn't even meet that low bar. It's not quite on a par with Count Duckula 2, but oh my goodness, it's not far off. Avoid it. Seriously, avoid it. Okay, there you are. I could not get through this game. I wanted to. It's only got 4 levels split into 2 parts per level. But it is atrocious. It is so badly designed that I just got stuck and frustrated on its awful, awful level design. It looks nice. The controls, funnily enough, where there are a bit motion control. It's the way you've got to shake the thing to attack and things like that. But for the most part, the controls are reasonably responsive. It's not a badly put together game in terms of design of the characters, and the locations look nice. It's just the levels are put together so badly, it's frustrating, it's overly long, the levels are far too big for what they are, and as a result it just feels like there's so much wasted potential. And that is the thing that I came away from this. I was disappointed that it wasted its potential. This could have been a good, fun kids game, but in the end it's a mess. And it's all down to poor level design. Okay, that's all we got for you today, so thank you very much for watching. I hope you did like this, and if you did, remember to click that like button, share it with your friends so that they'll know a terrible game that they should stay away from when they see it, and do subscribe for future videos because there will be more in the future. But until next time, I've been Kirk-Robinson, you've been watching GameHammer Dailies on the Not Mouse channel, and I'll see you tomorrow.